Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Dave Dixon, photographer based in Northumberland in the UK, and I tend to specialise in landscape photography, both rural and urban environments. On this channel I'll be sharing some of my photographs and stories behind them. The photograph that we're taking a look at today is Sycamore Gap Sunset. This likely needs little introduction as it's one of the most iconic locations and one of the most photographed trees in the country, or at least it was until the tree was criminally felled one night during September 2023. Sycamore Gap lies on Hadrian's Wall. I parked up at the car park at Steel Rig and I walked eastwards along the wall. That's only about a mile, but that walk includes a lot of uphill and downhill, so it's not the easiest of walks, especially if you're carting a load of camera gear with you. This is a journey I've taken with my camera a number of times, but every time I've done it, I've never really got a result at the end that I was truly happy with. On this occasion, it was April 2022, I got there quite late in the day and my hope was that I could catch some pleasing evening light. By the time I got to the location, the light was starting to fade, but it wasn't producing the type of colours that I was hoping for. Let's take a look at what I got with a straight conversion of the raw image as captured by the camera. So this was taken on a Canon EOS 6D Mark II using a Canon 16-35 f4 L-series lens at 16mm. I wanted to get a silhouette of the tree contrasted against the sky, so this is pretty underexposed to what the camera's auto exposure suggested. It's a 1/400th of a second at f11, the ISO was set to 100. The brightness in the sky was a bit uneven across the view, so I used a 3-stop soft-edged neutral density grad filter, rotated sideways to balance things out. As the lens was at its widest and I already had the UV filter on front of the lens for protection, as I normally do, you can see the filter holder creeping into shot at the top corners. To be honest, I kind of left all my shots from this particular evening in the "it seemed like a good idea at the time" pile. However, when I heard the news about the tree's demise, I realised I was never going to get a chance to go out and photograph it again, so I went back to my images to see what I could salvage. Okay, so let's take a look at the processing that went on to create the final image. And make it a bit easier, I'll put a border on there so we can see where the image ends. With the raw image in Canon Digital Photo Professional, the first thing that I did was adjust the white balance. DPP lets you fine tune this, so I adjusted the blue amber axis to +10 towards the amber end of the scale, and this made things a little bit more interesting. And then I went to increase the colour saturation just a little bit to give the picture a bit more oomph. So I'll save that image as a JPEG and open it up in PaintShop Pro. Now the first task here obviously was to do some cropping. I needed to cut out the vignette from the filter holder up in the top corners, and there's some unwanted real estate down in the bottom part of the image, so cropping it down got to this. Next I added a levels adjustment layer and I used that to add a bit of contrast. That makes the colours a little bit richer and just a bit more vibrant, and I think makes the image a little bit more impactful. And that gets us to the final result. Now, comparing before and after, I do wonder if my manipulation of the colour here would be regarded as cheating. I guess that depends on how forgiving or not you are of digital editing. I excuse it in this case because I was trying to come up with something to do justice to this iconic subject now that I knew the opportunity for any other photographs was gone. Although the image isn't what I'd hoped for, I'm still happy with the result. It's quite a simple composition, really. It's just about the tree and its place in the landscape and the colours in the sky. That little accent of the sun catching the wall to the right of the tree is a small touch, but I think it's an effective one that sets the image off. Now once I'd finished taking my photographs, I packed up my gear and headed back along the wall to where I'd left my car, and I had a slightly surreal encounter along the way. The light was fading, at the end of the day, but there was just about enough light to see by. And the path's quite undulating, lots of ups and downs. As I came over the crest of one hill, I got a bit of a surprise when I saw it looked like a medieval knight walking towards me through the gloom. As I got close, I thought, yeah, I'm not hallucinating, that's a knight. Full garb on. As we approached, he just greeted me with a really cheery hello and said, just want to check, am I going the right way for the tree? And I said that he was, and he obviously realised that I was a bit curious about the way that he looked. And he said basically he was one of these historic reenactors who'd been doing an event at the castle in Newcastle that day. He was heading back to Carlisle along the military road, and he'd spotted the tree and thought, he'd just stop and head up and have a look at the tree for himself. And that'll stick in my mind, and sort of a bit of a reminder that it's not just the subject matter that makes photographs, it's the people and the stories that go with them. It's all a package. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that, and maybe it inspired you a little bit with regard to what you can do to salvage an uninspiring image. At the very least, I hope I've achieved something that pays decent tribute to a much-missed icon, both of landscape photography and the landscape of Northumberland itself. If you're interested in seeing more of my photographs, then I can be found over on Flickr. Also, please like and subscribe to help me grow this channel on YouTube. I'm a regular speaker at camera clubs, either in person or via Zoom for those further afield. I've got quite a few presentations in my portfolio, so if you're a program secretary and you'd like me to do a presentation for your camera club, then please get in touch at tales.from.a.camera@gmail.com. And finally, thanks very much for watching.